Hi everyone, and thanks for joining me for yoga. So today we're going to do a practice that you don't need to really be flexible for, but it's going to be reasonably intense. So even though it's not very long, you're still going to find it quite challenging, and the whole idea of it is to get your blood moving around. And also we're going to focus a little bit on the upper body, so the shoulders and the chest. And that's kind of what this is all about. And I've set it up at the beginning. I'm going to move it out the way just so that you can stop this recording and maybe go and get a few bits and pieces to help you set up something kind of similar. Okay, so I've done it this way because you may not have a bolster. All right, so you can see what I've got here. I've rolled up a blanket. That's a pillow, and then there are a couple of cushions. You can make it lower than that or higher than that. But essentially, at the end, when we do a little bit of relaxation, it's going to, hopefully, and this is optional obviously, look something like this. And then my arms go down the side. All right, so these are muscles, your pecs get very, very tight from doing this all the time or driving. And so it will look like this. So your feet could be in this position. You could lie, have your legs flat, or this feels really, really nice. Okay? So that's pretty much what this is about. So you can switch off for a little bit if you want to. Just go and find a few bits and pieces maybe that you can use at the end of the practice. And I'm going to move them out the way. Okay? So today we're going to start in a standing position. All right, so you're going to bring your feet so that they're about hip width apart, and bend your knees a little bit. And these little bony bits here, they're called your iliac crests. And often when we sit, they are always forward of the sitting bones. I think I've talked about this before, so they kind of end up a little bit like this. So to alleviate that, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the top of the hips, the iliac crests backwards, and then the groins go forwards, and then we bring our shoulders forward. I'm going to bring our arms into this position. All right, so not too tense. Make sure that you can move your head. Bring your elbows up a little bit, but push your armpits down slightly. And then just tilt your weight forward so that your toes grip the mat. Now you'll notice that when you tilt forward, you don't have to think about your toes gripping the mat, and that's a really good sign, because if they didn't do that, you'd fall over. All right, so this is how your mind and your body, your nervous system connect, and it's healthy when things like that happen. You don't have to worry about it. So we're just going to press our feet down, and you can close your eyes if you like. Really get a sense of your body, how your body feels in the space that it's inhabiting, and see if you can get a sense that you're stretching the mat apart with your feet. And you'll feel that your knees feel a little bit stronger maybe when you do that. You'll feel your thigh muscles engaged. And then visualise, if you can, your heels. And even though your feet are stretching the mat apart, can you imagine that you're trying to squeeze your heels a little bit closer? Keep gently gripping with the toes. Don't forget to breathe. Keep the face, the neck and the throat relaxed. So we're going to keep our hips reasonably steady while we do the next bit. Okay? And it's not complicated, but you're going to get very warm. All right? And it's hard. It's very hard. So when you're ready, you can follow me. So what you can see that I'm doing is I'm stretching the side ribs, and I'm also doing a twist, and my shoulders are hunching. But my hips are pretty still. You can see that my movement is here. I'm not wiggling my hips, and I'm not doing this either. So essentially my trunk and my spine are moving. And for most people, the trunk and the spine are the stiffest bits of the anatomy, thanks to sitting culture. So we're going to do this for 2 or 3 minutes. getting warm. That's fabulous. And if you're getting tired, or it's starting to feel hard, then I guess you know that you can do a pretty good workout even if you haven't got much space. This is a pretty good workout if you do it for long enough. I don't know about you, but I can hear all sorts of crunchy sound effects. So all that little crunching and noise that you can hear, it's all those little crystals, these little arthritic crystals. And what we're aiming to do is dislodge some of them a little bit, hopefully. Don't worry, we're not going to do this for half an hour. Right, we're going to slow it down a little bit now. That's it, so you can follow me. So what I'm doing now is I'm leaning onto one foot and then the other. Like slow marching now. That's it. Reach for your ceiling. Bringing that right arm down, we're going to take it over, the left arm over there to the right side, and then let's swap it over. So this time, we're going to add something on, and it's optional. But as you reach your left hand over there to the right hand corner, leave your right toe tip on the floor like mine, otherwise push your right buttock bone forward, and maybe you bring that right foot off the mat. Let's try the other side. Looks like this, or maybe it looks like this. And one more each side. And when you're ready. Don't let your bum stick out, and all the way down if you can, as far as you can comfortably. And let's come up. So what we're going to do is interlink our hands, push the palms forward, and push the front of the hips forward the way I showed you before, taking the bony bits of the hips backwards. And you can stay where you are. When you come up onto the balls of the feet, maybe you bend a little bit. And then drop your heels. So what I'm going to do is lean over into my left foot, take it around to my right side and lift the left shoulder. And back to the first position. Sinking into my right foot, taking it around to the opposite side, to the left side, lifting the right shoulder. And back to the first position. Bringing the arms up. Maybe just 3/4 is enough, depending on how flexible your shoulders are, or they're not. Stay where you are, or come up onto the balls of the feet. Maybe bend a little bit if you can. And then drop your heels. And then we're going to take it over, gently to the right side, and back over to the opposite side. And back. So just release your hands. Push your palms all the way up. And when you're ready, taking your arms down, rolling your shoulders all the way in, bringing your arms forward, extending into your wrists, squeezing your hands into fists, and then rolling your shoulders out, taking your hands back, pushing into your fingers, broadening your palms, pushing your chest forward, and then taking your fingers behind. That's tricky. Now from here, if it's possible for you, interlink your hands behind, or do this one if you can. So this is where I've got the backs of my hands together. So shoulders down if possible, then take your arms back, pressing the backs of the hands into each other. Possibly you come up onto the balls of your feet and maybe you bend a little bit and then relax. Can we swap? Other side, shoulders back. So shoulders down, arms back I should say. Come up if you can, bend a little bit if possible. And relax. And bring the shoulders in, arms up, out to the side. Pushing back into the fingers again, broadening the palms. And when you're ready, it's like you're about to give yourself a big cuddle. So you've got right elbow on top, lift the elbows if you can, and take it out again. So chest forward, broaden the palms, and again. Elbows up, and again. Last one. And then taking your arms out one last time. And this time we're going to hook our right arm into our left elbow. So the pose looks like this, okay? But I'm not doing that, I'm pushing my arm into my left elbow. So it's like I'm trying to get my right arm back that way. So in other words, we're creating resistance. Now either you're going to stay here or some of you can come into this position, which is eagle pose. Alright, so you can see what I'm doing? Like that. Shoulders down, but then lift the elbows up and try and round out the back if you can. You're squeezing your inner elbows together. Keep pushing the front of your hips forward, or the groins forward. Stay where you are, or come up onto the balls of your feet. Bend a little bit, otherwise you can come down further. And coming up, release, taking it out, making the arms longer, palms broader, pushing the chest forward, and like a cuddle with the left arm on top, elbows up a little bit. That's one. Broaden the palms, broaden the fingers. Left arm on top. That's two. Three. And four. Last one. And this time, left arm goes across the body, hooks into the right elbow, and it looks a little bit like this, but I'm creating resistance here, okay? You do that for a few seconds and either stick with that one or turn it into eagle pose if you can. So this time the left elbow's on top. Bring the shoulders down. Try and create space if you can between the chest and the elbows. This is harder for blokes, by the way, because blokes aren't so flexible in their chests. Women have a little bit more movement, so you might have to do the easier one, which is fine. But if you can do this one, try lifting your elbows a little bit towards the ceiling, and maybe come up onto the balls of your feet. Possibly bend your knees a little bit, maybe you come down a little bit further. And relax, bring the arms back. And bring it all in. Bit like swimming. So what we're going to do now is take our left foot back, just a little bit. Leave that right toe tip where it is for now, and again what I want you to do is take the top of your hips, the bony bits back, so the pubic bone lifts up, but keep your arms forward. So with this right foot we're going to do a little bit of a balance. Now it's kind of like that if you can't lift your leg very high. So what you're imagining is that you're trying to get your right heel to touch your left armpit, and you're trying to get your right knee a bit closer to the floor, okay? So that would, if we could do that, that would be a flexible hip. I'm very wobbly this afternoon. But you can hold onto a chair or a wall if you need to, or you can have your foot like this. The most important thing is the feeling that you're trying to get your heel a little bit higher than your knee. All right, this is a really good strengthening exercise for your knee, and it's a very active stretch for your hip that won't hurt your knee. pop your right foot down. So what we're going to do is lean forward. Now when we lean forward, sometimes our chest automatically wants to go forward. So let's round out the back a little bit, and again, the bony bits of the hips go backwards, which is what we want. Left toe tip on the mat. Keep the ribs in, so we don't want the ribs sticking out like that. Now, from here, maybe you just lift your left foot a little bit off the floor. If you can, heel towards the bottom, and maybe you lift your leg up a little bit, but resist the urge to kind of do that. Keep your ribs in. So ribs in, not flared. And we're going to go into a pose called Gajastan, okay, which is elephant pose. So follow me. This is what the pose looks like. So I've got my back to you over there. And when you're ready, like swimming again. One more. Take it out and down. Stay here or come up onto the balls of your feet. Lower your heels. Let's take our arms over to the left side. And down and over to the right. Let's go back to the centre. Over to the right side. Down. And over to the left. And back to the centre. Stay, or again, come up onto the balls of your feet. Bring your fingers into this position. Push your heels towards your toes. Try and drop your tailbone a little bit. I know it's intense. I said that it would be. And when you're ready, taking it out. One. Last one. Hold on to your thighs. Imagine you're taking your left shoulder to your right heel and coming up, and right shoulder to the left heel and coming up. Bend your knees a little bit more. Take your fingers to the floor and adjust your feet. Now, if you're not so flexible, doesn't matter. You can walk your hands forward if you need to, and you can also use a block to put your hands on, okay? But what I want you to do, if you can, is push your weight into your outer feet. Grip with your toes. You see how my feet are slightly pigeon-toed? I just want you to feel like you're squeezing your heels as if towards the midline. All right? So keep your hands forward if you need to. If you're more flexible, your hands can be here. All right? So we're going to do a little bit of a twist. And as I said before, it's all about moving the trunk, getting some movement here and in the spine. So when we do a twist, our twist doesn't look like this. That's just me turning my head and lifting my arm up. So what I get you to do is pop the right hand on your belly, round out your back, take a little breath in, turn your navel to the right side. Maybe just leave your right hand on your hip. You can still look at your left hand. And then we're going to use this left hand to twist ourselves a little bit more. And then maybe the right arm goes up without stretching back. That's it. Pop the right hand down. Round out the back, look at the right hand, pop the left hand on the belly, breathing in, turn your navel, just your navel to the left side, keep your left hand on your hip if you need to, use the right hand to twist a little bit more, and then maybe that left arm goes up, but not back. That's it. And pop your left hand down. Adjust your feet back into Gajastan if you can. Lengthen between your fingers. So we're just going to play around with this a little bit. Leaning towards the top, leaning towards the back of the mat. When you're ready, lean into the front foot. Leave your left toe tip on the mat if you need to. Otherwise, lift it off the floor. Lift it off the floor. Bring the heel to the bum again if you want to. And then carefully, thigh towards your chest or toe tip on the floor. And bring your foot down. Very good. We'll do that on the other side. Sort of. Be a bit easier on the other side. Maybe. We'll see. So, this time, the right foot goes back. So what I'm going to do is lift my pubic bone, take the top of my hips back. Left toe tip can be here, but shoulders are forward. So I'm pushing into the ball of my left foot, and you can see that even if I don't lift my leg very high, I want to imagine that this heel is trying to reach this right armpit. So it would look like that. And if you can lift higher, it might look like that. But you can see even if somebody seems quite flexible, This is very telling, because if I was super flexible in my hip, this heel would be higher than the knee, okay? So what this is doing is giving me a very active stretch in my hip. I can't cheat when I do it this way. You can hold on to something if you want to. And pop your left foot down. So lean forward so the weight's in your left foot. See, I'm not locking out my knee here. Right toe tip behind. Now sometimes we do these things and the chest just wants to kind of jut forward and we want to stick our bum out. So what I'm suggesting is lift the pubic bone, top of the hips go back. Make sure that the ribs are in, so you're rounding out your upper back. Leave the right toe tip on the mat if you need to, otherwise lift the right foot a little bit. If possible, heel towards the bottom and lift the right leg up. But we don't want the chest jutting forward. Bring the ribs in, not flaring. Hold on to something if you need to. So if you reach around, you'll notice all these muscles are nice and firm. And Gajastan, second side. What treats do we have in store on this side? Push the heels towards the toes. Drop the tailbone. When you're ready. This position. Come up onto the balls of the feet if you can. And are you ready? We're going to do 50 of these in this position if you can. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Come down a little bit more if you can. And bring your hands to the floor. Adjust your feet. I've got to be careful because the microphone's there and I'm going to suddenly sound very loud. So if you need to, walk your hands forward. Push into your outer feet, but feel like you're squeezing your heels towards the midline, all right? So my knees are a little bit bent, but again, ribs in. Now this time we're going to do a little bit of a twist. It's optional. So what I'm doing is just walking my hands around to the right side. And you can use a block for that one if you need to. Okay? So if you guys who are a bit more flexible, you can hold on to the lower right leg and do something like that instead. Otherwise, just keep it simple. Second side. Flexies. And back to the center. Adjust your feet back into Gajastan. Come into this position. We're going to lean forwards and backwards. Forwards and backwards. This time lean into the left foot. Right toe tip on the mat. Otherwise you can lift that right leg off the floor a little bit if you want to. Turn the foot towards the ceiling maybe. And either touch the toe tip to the top of the mat and tuck under, or bring your thigh to your chest if you can. And pop the foot down. Come down to the floor. Now if you need to, when you're on the floor, you can sit on a cushion. We're going to do, again, some active stretches. And these are much better ways to stretch, particularly if you're not very flexible, okay? But even if you are flexible, it means you have to use your strength, okay? Rather than forcing yourself into a thing that your body's not ready for and doesn't really feel that comfortable doing anyway. So I'll show you what I mean. You can do this with me actually because it's good to see the difference. So if I have my right leg in front of me, I'm just taking that left leg out there and I'm just going to come down into a little bit of a stretch. So that's about as far as I can get now, and I can feel that the back of my leg is starting to feel uncomfortable. All right. So we're going to come down onto our elbows. Try and move your shoulders away from your ears. Lift the right leg off the floor and just give the ankle a little bit of a wiggle. All right. So this is harder than it looks as well, by the way. we don't get much blood circulation in these parts of the body. So if you twist your ankle or something happens, it can take a long time to heal, sometimes a year or longer. It's never quite the same again. So even though this kind of looks like something Nana would do, it's really good, really useful. Can we go back? And I can really feel heat in my ankle now. So if you're following me, hopefully you can too. And then from here, we're going to bend the knee. We're going to do a few of these. It's good to loosen the knee joint a little bit and go back, opposite direction. All right, now what we're going to do is one-legged bicycles. So these are the kind of things you can do at night when you're watching something on Netflix. Just little movement exercises. And go back, opposite direction. And just hold your foot in, your leg in this position. And what I get you to do is lift really slowly that right leg up to the ceiling. Really slow. Now if it starts to feel stretchy, you just bend the right leg a little bit or you stop moving. But keep your focus on the back of the right leg. As soon as you start to feel a stretch, it might be before I do, which is fair enough, we're just going to take it over to the left and slightly out to the right. Over to the left, slightly out to the right. Over to the left and slightly out to the right. Now let's bring that right leg down. So if I come up, you might notice it feels different on the right side. Take that leg out again. Now this time, I don't know if you can notice, but definitely I'm a little bit closer. That's how close I can get now before it feels stretchy. So that means I know those exercises worked, and they worked a whole lot better than me forcing myself into that position. Okay, so let's do the second side. Come down, lift up your left leg, and this ankle doesn't move very well because I did twist it one year. It's never been the same again. It's probably all the more reason to keep doing it. Back. So keep going for a few more. Warm. And then come into this position and we'll do some little knee releases. Back. And let's do one-legged bicycles. And back. So we're going to go back to that first position, and then I'm going to get you to carefully, slowly bring your left leg up. So you want to stop as soon as your leg starts to feel stretchy. You can bend the knee a little bit, you can make it a little bit more slow, and then you might find you get a little bit more. But avoid feelings of stretch because it's actually a muscle shortening. It's saying, hello, there's a bit of danger here. We are going into the danger zone. All right, so it's a warning. Now, from here or wherever you get to, we're going to do little crisscrosses. So we're going to take the left leg to the right and then out to the side a little bit. That's it. That's it. And let's take that left leg flat. Actually, I forgot to do the test on that side, didn't I? But we'll just see. It's a bit easier on this side anyway. Yeah. Much better. All right, so we're going to come down into constructive rest position, which is this position. And just lift your pubic bone up slightly. Make sure that your chin is in and press your feet down nice and firmly into your mat. So arms down by the side. What I'll get you to do is bring your right arm up and just let it soften. Okay, so it's hard to straighten it, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be rigid. Look to the left side and press the left side of your head into the mat. And then relax. Bring the right arm down. Bring the left arm up. Look to the right. Press the right side of your head into the mat. Relax. Left arm down. One more each side. Right arm up. Looking to the left. And right arm down. And last one. Left arm up. Looking to the right. And left arm down. Make sure your chin is in. Just bringing your arms up. Reaching for the ceiling. Lifting your pubic bone and squeezing your heels as if towards the midline. Focusing on your pubic bone, take a little breath in, feel the pubic bone moving as if towards the chin, and lift the front of your hips up towards the ceiling if you can. As high as you can comfortably, making the arms longer, allowing the belly to breathe, allowing the belly to be soft. And bringing the arms down by the side. Now, if you feel uncomfortable doing this next one, then obviously don't do it, okay? It's a stronger version of the pose that we're already doing, and it's nice in between stiff necks, but if you've got a lot of stiffness in your shoulders and your neck, it's going to be too hard anyway, but you can have a go if you like. So I shuffle onto one side to bring one arm under, do the same on the other side, and maybe join hands. Now, if that feels okay, you shuffle your shoulders towards the bottom of the mat, and then maybe press the backs of your arms down. So at this point, my chin is massaging my throat. So I'm going to imagine that I'm going to lift my chin about a third of a millimetre, not much. But check your tummy is still breathing. And drop about a third. Release one side, release the other. Now when you come down now, can you try and come down vertebra by vertebra? So from your upper back to your lower back. And I just want you to visualize or at least imagine that all of those joints are moving separately. Okay, so independently of the ones either side. That's how your joints are supposed to move, not all in one clump. But we get stiff, it's true. And relax. Now from here you can bring one knee at a time towards your armpits. Okay, bring the arms in between your thighs and push your arms into your inner thighs if you can, and your inner thighs back into your arms. And then relax. And then if you can, hold on to your shins, bring your knees a little bit closer. And push your shins into your palms and your palms into your shins. And then relax. So we're going to try a variation of a fish pose to finish. This is Matsyasana, okay? So what I get you to do is broaden across your upper back. Press your shoulder blades down, make sure your chin is in. And as you breathe in, can you imagine that you're trying to lift your belly, your chest, your collarbone, maybe your throat and your chin up towards the ceiling. So I want you to feel as if the middle of your spine is lifting away from your mat. It's like a little tunnel between your mat and your spine, and the front of the body is getting really big. It's expanding. It's almost like you're going into a back arch. And then relax. Allow the back of your body to sink back down. Pop your arms down by the side, knees together, and give your hips a little bit of a wiggle from the left to the right side. And pop your feet on your mat. Now, if you'd rather relax in this position, this is fine. Otherwise, what I'm going to do is just gently roll to the right side, and I'm going to get my little prop that I made earlier. Here's one I made earlier. Okay, and this is how I'm going to relax. This is how I'm going to relax for this practice, because I've done a little bit of work creating a little bit of space across the chest. And I think it would be nice to continue with that. Okay, so if you need to switch me off to organise yourself, you can do that. Just make sure that you're going to be comfortable. You can see here I'm getting a little bit of a stretch across the chest. It feels really, really nice actually. So you get comfortable. stay where you are. So just for the last few minutes of your practice today, there's no need to focus on any particular breathing exercise, but instead just give yourself 5 minutes to really get a sense of the present and the experience that you're having in the moment. And you can do this by really paying attention to your body. Okay, so just being aware of sensation. Okay, just keep your awareness firmly focused on your inner body and resist the urge to control anything, including your thoughts. Just allow them to be there. All those sensations, feelings and thoughts that maybe sometimes you might not describe as being positive. Doesn't matter. Just honour the presence of every sensation, every thought, every feeling, even if it's just for 5 minutes, without judging, without buying into anything particularly. If you feel your mind drifting into the future or going back into the past, just remind yourself: sensation, softness, and release. Stay here for as long as you like, and I hope you enjoyed the practice. Namaste.